Spidey. Hello, welcome back to my podcast, the AJ Kallas Show. Oh yes. I got a new setup. I got 2 chairs. Got a chair back there, a chair up here, so we might get a little crazy. We'll see. Hope you are doing well. Every single time, and I've done this a couple times, this is not my first can of Coke. Every single time I try and do this intro, I keep saying, hi, my name is AJ Kallas, and I want to say, and you're watching Disney Channel. I'm just conditioned to say that. This isn't Disney Channel. I'm not AJ, I'm AJ Kallas. But this is not Disney Channel. But that doesn't mean that this is not a family-friendly show, so you can watch it with your family or your friendlies. We actually received a thank you video from a family, so we're gonna play that clip right now.
Hey AJ, just wanted to thank you so much for your podcast and everything it's done for our marriage life and social life. We would not be here without you and your podcast. Thank you so much for giving that to us and to the world every week. Various topics and video formats. We wouldn't be here without it. Again, thank you so much.
That's good stuff. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. You know, I'm doing okay. I am going only a little nuts. There's nothing I want to do right now more than eat off public surfaces, never wash my hands, and go to a movie theater. But sadly, I'm not allowed to do any of those right now. But I'm sure this is all going to pass hopefully very soon, and I will not wash my hands, eat off of public surfaces, and go to a movie theater. Man, I miss going to movies. Not that I can't see movies now. Seeing a lot of movies. I saw Hunt for the Wilder People, Masterpiece. I saw Parasite. Anyway, I want to tell you guys about my favorite movie theater experience because I've been thinking about movie theaters so much. I want to tell you about my favorite movie theater experience. And it was when I went to go see Batman v Superman. Now, regardless of what you think of this movie, personally, I don't really like it. Cat's out of the bag. I don't like the movie. But I don't know why I'm drinking a soda while I'm trying to tell this story. That's not smart. But this video is not going to be me talking about that movie necessarily. I will spoil it because I have to for the story's sake, but I'm not here to try and offer some original constructive criticism or say why I think that movie didn't work. There are countless videos on YouTube about that. That's not what I care about. I am only about my movie theater experience, and I love it so much. Now, some background for this story. I want you to understand that I know on this podcast I have said before that I am not basic. I am not basic. But as it turns out, I'm very basic. My 2 favorite superheroes of all time are Spider-Man and Batman. I'm basic, baby. That said, I was really excited about going into Batman v Superman. I really liked Man of Steel, even though, it's a complicated movie. There's a lot of mixed feelings that I have about that movie, even 7 years after it's come out, and I still don't know what I think about it, but I think I like it. I think that Henry Cavill is amazing, and I think that Zack Snyder did an interesting take on Superman, I guess. I don't know, it's a complicated mixed bag. I do think that Hans Zimmer nailed a Superman score without the original John Williams. It was super original, but really captured what Superman is. So going into Batman v Superman, I was very excited. I thought all of the trailers looked really cool. I thought Ben Affleck was a great choice for an old, gritty Batman. I thought it was going to be amazing. But a couple of years ago, a couple of years before, I went and saw Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was not good. I didn't like that movie either. But I remember being so excited for that. I bought bobbleheads, I got Pop-Tart boxes, I got cereal boxes, I got action figures. I was so pumped for this movie. It was going to start a Spider-Man cinematic universe, and it was going to, launch a Sinister Six movie, a Venom movie, an Amazing Spider-Man 3 movie, possibly a Black Cat Silver Sable movie, like all of these people, and I was like, oh, this is going to be so great. I think that Spider-Man has an incredible rogue gallery. I think that he's got an incredible ensemble cast, he can have a cinematic universe. I'm positive. I wouldn't recommend starting it with Venom and then go directly into Morbius, but hey, I'm not Amy Pascal or Avi Arad, so what do I really even know about movies? Not much, obviously. But that said, I went and saw that movie, really didn't like it, and that was kind of my Phantom Menace moment where I was like, oh, I need to not be super excited about movies. Because when Phantom Menace came out back in 1999, there were a lot of people that were really excited about a brand new Star Wars movie going into territory that had never really been explored before, well, at least in film. And people were really excited about it, and then they were let down. Now, I like the prequel trilogies. They're fine. They've got their place in Star Wars, what all that is Star Wars. And, and there have been a lot of movies like that where people kind of go into the hype and then they're let down. And so I didn't get to see Batman v Superman opening night. And I was like, okay, it's a bummer. But the embargo lifted and all of the reviews came in, both from critics and just regular moviegoers, and people did not like this movie. And I got really nervous. And I was like, oh no, this was supposed to be the one. I didn't get it with Amazing Spider-Man 2. This is supposed to be the one. It's going to start a new, really cool DC extended universe, and all of those movies are going to be fantastic because all of those characters are great. So how could you mess up those characters? I was so bummed. But I went and I saw the movie the day after it came out, and, even though I didn't want to have my hopes up from Amazing Spider-Man 2 and all of the critic reviews, I still was just hanging on by a small, small thread. And when the opening scene happens, the Waynes die, and Batman, or young Bruce Wayne, falls into this cave well, I was like, oh, okay, they're saying, hey, do you remember The Familiar? Do you remember the Nolan trilogy? And I'm like, yeah, I remember the Nolan trilogy. I think about it every night before I go to bed. I remember the Nolan trilogy. But then, where it differs is Batman's dad doesn't pick him up. Rather, these bats swarm around him and raise him up like it's some sort of baptism. Like he went down into the cave and the bats were his salvation out of the void and the abyss. And I was like, whoa, this is going to be cool. This is going to be a phenomenal movie. I was like, okay, that's it. And then it cuts into, an adult Bruce Wayne while the Metropolis destruction is going on for Man of Steel. And I'm like, yeah, this is perfect. How could they possibly screw this up? Well, as the movie goes on, there are a lot of boring plot threads that I didn't really care for. Bizarre choices and characterizations of Lex Luthor, but I don't mean to talk about why I didn't like this movie. But as the movie dragged on, I really just became uninterested and was very discouraged that this wasn't a movie that I wanted to engage with. I wasn't just at the edge of my seat waiting to figure out what was going to happen next. Rather, it felt like something I was going to endure, which is such a bummer. That's definitely not what these people set out to make, a movie that you endure. No, this is supposed to be a blockbuster that you enjoy. And, that's a bummer, but hey, it's a movie. It's all good, at the end of the day. But my experience of this movie was not going well. And to make matters worse, there were some people behind me that just kept talking. Now, I'm not a stickler for the rules, okay? If you wanna break some rules, I might look the other way. Are you gonna sneak some pop or some sody pop into the theater? I won't tell. Are you gonna pirate the movie? You're gonna film the movie while it's going on? I'm gonna feel really uncomfortable about that, but I'm not gonna be able to muster up the courage to tell the authorities because I'm a bad boy. But when people talk in the theater, yeah, that bothers me. Come on, and people have their phones out. I'm not a fan. I don't like that at all. I think that's super rude and disrespectful. And these kids, they were like maybe 3 or 4 of them. I think there were 3 of them, and they just kept talking the whole movie. It was like they weren't even paying attention. They were like, "Who's that? What's going on? What'd she say?" And I'm like, "Guys, be quiet." Yeah, but I also felt bad because one of them obviously just what was aloof. I understand if you went into this movie not seeing Man of Steel, you might not understand all of the characters and what's going on. Oh, who's that? Oh, well, that's, Superman's dad. Oh, is he dead? Yes, he's dead. This is kind of the dream. You might not really know that, okay, this is Jonathan Kent, Superman's dad, and that's Martha Kent, Superman's mom. You might not know these things, and you might not know, the significance surrounding Batman's parents, even though the movie's trying to do a good job of bringing you up to speed and kind of saying you probably know this, don't you? But you might not know that Thomas and Martha Wayne were murdered by a mugger in Crime Alley, and that was the solidifying moment for Bruce Wayne to become a vigilante and fight a superstitious and cowardly lot known as the common criminals. But I want to give this kid the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he was just dumb. I don't know, and that's not me being mean. I want dumb people to be able to enjoy a Batman and Superman movie, and I think he did. So great. Because really people go to this movie to watch people punch each other. That's why I went. That's why other people went. Also there's character and, story. But people really want to see a rich guy put on power armor and punch a guy from outer space. I get it. I paid like $10 to go see that. And if there was another movie that came out like that and they're like, we're going to charge you 12, I'd pay 12. Easy. As the movie's going on, these kids, they're talking, they're asking questions, one of them specifically, and yeah, it is getting very annoying, but again, I'm losing interest. I don't care. I'm like, all right, whatever. It's like, at this point, they can just talk. It's like, an hour and a half into the movie, and I'm like, I just don't care. I don't care. This guy doesn't know anything, and as much as I'd love to do anything else, I'm gonna just do nothing. That sounds super sad and very overdramatic, but I was defeated. This was a movie I was very excited for, and not only are these people talking, but the movie's not good. So yeah, it was a bummer. And as Superman and Batman are fighting, it's like the climax. Before the climax, there are several like big moments in this movie where it's like that could have been the end, but they're fighting for the last time they're fighting, and Batman's got a bunch of kryptonite, and Superman's trying to stop Batman and say, like, look, Lex Luthor has my mom, and, I want to have you team up with me to stop him. But, Batman's too, egotistical, and, and the movie does a good job of establishing that. I don't mean to dog on the movie too much. It's fine. The Ultimate Cut's a lot better. I will say that there is an extended edition of this movie that's much better than the theatrical release. Not by a significant margin, but I do think that it answers a lot of the problems that most people have with the movie, which is, hey, it's a good thing. So if you kind of like the movie, I recommend it. But, they're fighting, they're punching each other, and, Batman is going to kill Superman, and he's reminiscing about his parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, and how they died for no real reason at all. It's a very nihilistic, worldview, and his parents were what humanized him. His mom was what humanized him. And as Superman, defeated amongst the kryptonite and Batman and his power armor, realizing that he's going to die and not be able to save his own mom, he says, save Martha, which is his mom's name. And it's also Batman's mom's name. And the movie does a good job of establishing that. And now, before watching this movie, I wouldn't have known, yeah, both of their mother's names are Martha. Like, I would have been able to answer that in a trivia if someone said, what are Batman's Batman's parents' name? I would have been like, okay, Thomas and Martha Wayne. What are Superman's parents' name? I would have been like, Jonathan and Martha Kent. Like, I would have been able to answer that, but I didn't ever make the connection. Hey, they both have the same name. That's kind of neat. And that moment by itself really is a cool moment where, Batman humanizes with Superman, where he realizes that he was wrong and that this guy is a human, is a person just like him, not like a human being, but a human person. And it's a really cool moment. In that moment, I think in the context of the whole film, it might not be as effective, but I think in a moment just like that, there is some really cool tenderness to it. At least there should have been. But these guys kept talking the whole fight. They're like, oh, got him. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. So when Superman says, save Martha, Batman replies with, why did you say that name? And Lois Lane comes out of nowhere and says, it's his mother's name. And one of the kids behind me screams, oh my God, they're brothers. Completely serious. And I turn back, the people I'm with turn back, his friends look at him, and they punch him and they're like, you idiot, they're not brothers. And I can understand how that would be confusing for him. But I remember thinking, there is no way that anyone would have been able to mistake that except this guy. every single time I think about Batman v Superman, I don't think about the characters, or the costumes, or the music, or the directing, or the writing. I think of this guy who saved my movie theater experience by breaking the rules, by shouting and talking throughout the movie. He made that movie so enjoyable, which, man, like, there's such a fun communal aspect to watching a movie with other people. Both, I mean, there are positives and negatives. I mean, this guy was annoying, and all of them were a little annoying, like, throughout the whole movie. But there was something neat about him being able to go so confused out of his mind, oh my god, they're brothers, and think that Batman and Superman have the same mother, when the actress is not the same. Like, it's fundamentally different. They don't look alike. They're just both women. I don't know where he is or his friends. I hope they're doing great. I hope that I get to go to a movie theater very soon once all this is over, and I hope that they're there. 5 years later, we get to go and watch another movie. Whatever movie is coming out. I don't even know what movies will be coming out by the time all of this is over, but man, I miss it. I miss the theater. I miss the popcorn. I miss the really over-expensive 68-ounce pop or soda. I don't know, pop or soda. Sody pop. I don't know. I feel uncomfortable. I like Coke. I don't know if you can tell. I like Coke. Coke's my beverage. So I just say Coke. But yeah, that's it for this story. I think about it all the time. There have been some other experiences in the theater where people have like done weird things. But no one has ever been so confused in a movie theater and expressed it so aggressively. And for that, I am very, very thankful. So, hey, hope you're doing well, hope you're staying safe, and I hope that you're watching some fun movies. And if you're not watching fun movies, I hope you're watching movies with fun people. That's it for this video. I love you, peace, and God bless. I will see you in the next one.